Tell you what, I don't even want to start off the show today. I want Guru to start off the show. I really do. I just want to give you the floor because I want you to set the tone. What for the show today?
Every time I think I know you, I get a good read on Evan. That's my little bro. But you just shock me because you're in a good mood. You're like Wiggins from 3 the last 27 games. You're over 45%. But Steiny,
not yesterday.
I'm worried about Jonathan Kuminga. Yeah. I feel like I'm the only one. I am not ignoring what we saw Friday night in Charlotte. What we saw in Orlando. It was a win. Yeah, no doubt about it. And I tweeted, you would know. I tweeted last night, it's not what it looks like. Doesn't matter, you were down to San Antonio by 8 at half, and they're missing all their wings. It was like 3 wing players. But you got the dub. But for me, team, if you look at the team component of it, they're still sitting in that damn 10th spot. And Steiny, I believe we'll find out if anything has changed come tomorrow when Luka and Kyrie and the Mavs come in because they owe them. But I'm not a doctor. Jonathan Kuminga, to me, has taken steps, leaps and bounds, and I feel like I'm the only one concerned about the bilateral knee tendonitis in both knees. And the most positive person I know in the Bay is Dr. Pangia, and I got his assessment on Twitter yesterday, Steiny, like it's just something to watch. But a 21-year-old with tendonitis in 2 knees to miss 3 games, and they want them, but you're going to need them. That's my biggest concern today, and that was a big win. Draymond was fantastic. It's the Draymond Green experience. 2 big offensive rebounds yesterday, made the free throw to put it up 4. So I guess I'm feeling good, but no different, but more worried about Kuminga.
So let me give you some facts.
Okay.
The Warriors right now are a season high 6 games over.
I don't
500.
care about that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You gave me the floor.
So you don't care. It doesn't matter at all.
You're the 10th seed.
Okay. So it doesn't matter that they just played a 5-game road trip. They lost a heartbreaker at Minnesota a week ago. A lot of people said they should have won that game. They had a shot at it.
That was a good team.
Then they come back and they beat Miami, Orlando, Charlotte, San Antonio to go 4-1 on the trip. Like, if you can't be excited about that, I don't know.
I'm asking you.
Okay, so then
what's to be excited about?
Okay, fine.
Miami had nobody.
That's okay.
Tomorrow, give me the record.
This is why I wanted you to set the tone.
No, but you tricked me because now it feels like I'm being negative.
We are.
I'm not. I know you're the 10th seed, Steiny, and you beat some downtrodden teams. You were down 8 against San Antonio. I'm supposed to come in and throw confetti. I don't understand. And I get what you're saying. You're a season high over. I get that, but what does it mean in the wash? Well, you're still 10th, and your young phenom hasn't played in 3 games, and we don't know if he's going to be out there tomorrow.
All right.
Like, are you really telling me that was a great win yesterday?
I'm saying they went 4-1 on the road.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, I'm saying now they put 2 games between themselves and the Houston Rockets, and they're like. There are things outside of this. There are things that they can't control right now, and that is what happens above them in the standings. So
because you put yourself in that situation,
right? So I can't hold it against them for stuff that happened in November.
Does
and
it
December.
sound like I am?
Yes. Yeah.
No, they need to win.
But listen,
what about the Kuminga part of it?
That doesn't concern me at all. He's 21. He's been playing more than he's ever played in his entire life. I'm sure he's got some soreness. I'm not concerned about it. But I guess what I'm saying is like this is the kind of the incongruity that I don't understand. It's like the only way you can be not, I don't know. They just won 4 or 5 on the road. So clearly, if that's not enough for anybody, or if that's not, okay, let's see, we rallied from the Draymond thing. Okay, so then, like, it almost feels like you're still under the belief that you're kind of viewing this team as a team that can make a deep, deep run. So we're still, like, using that criteria. Because if we're not using that criteria, why wouldn't you be a little optimistic about Podziemski and Trace Jackson Davis, who were good on the trip, Steph shot the ball pretty well the last 2 games. He'd been in a slump. Clay was terrible yesterday, but he makes the big shot. I mean, there's a lot to, I don't know, feel pretty good about. They won 4 or 5 on the road. I don't know. Is it that Warrior fans, 888-957-9570. What, is it the nature of the season that that doesn't do anything for you right now?
It's the quality of teams they play.
Okay, well, if you want to do that, Miami and Orlando are playoff teams. They're 40-win teams right now. They're both 8 games over. One's like 4, one's 5. I mean, they beat 2 playoff teams. And if you want, San Antonio won 3 in a row coming into that game. Now, they rested everybody, so obviously that's something. But I don't know. I came in today, I'm like, there's 6 games over 500. We came in here last week after the Draymond thing and thought, man, something has, they're in trouble.
Well, I never took that as they're going to lose to Charlotte or they're going to lose to, even with the Draymond thing going on, Steiny, because they've dealt with it before. But, I'm not being negative. I'm like, show me against good teams what you're going to do. And why I brought up the Kuminga thing is how can you be excited if, and again, you said it's nothing.
Well, you worry about this more than anybody on planet Earth.
I mean, 3 games, 3 crucial games, even though they got him without him. Like, Steiny, what if he comes back for 2 games and then next week the season's over and they're in L.A. for the play-in game and Kuminga's not available?
Well, the worst part would be Kuminga not getting that kind of experience. But, I mean...
Town A on the YouTube chat telling me, Guru, just be happy they won. I am.
No,
but I don't feel like they're going to beat the Lakers or whoever they play in the play-in because of what I've seen the last 3 games. And the rat on the table is, you said it, San Antonio rested everybody, and your ass is down 8 at halftime. With not a full squad, without Jonathan Kuminga. And you got the dub. Let's go.
That's why I wanted Goo to set the tone, because I think he's
like, tomorrow is it for me. Like Dallas, and you owe them.
Play them twice this week.
Well, but yeah, and you got the Rockets. I think the Rockets, they emptied the tanks. Tiny, great run, 11, but they're essentially 3 ahead of the Rockets because they got the tiebreaker. So the Warriors would really have to falter these last 8, right? So 10th, maybe you get 9th if Sack falters and the Lakers catch Sack. I just don't see the Warriors. Well, I don't see the Warriors catching Sack, but maybe we'll see.
Warriors are a season high 6 over 500, and they've won 6 of 9. 9th is still on the table, and it feels like there's absolutely no enthusiasm for this team. Like, that's kind of what I was coming in thinking.
So you have that enthusiasm that you feel like you don't, or not hearing?
I mean, from a practical standpoint, from where they were after Draymond got ejected, I'd probably be feeling pretty good right now. I mean, if it's solely the standings, then I get it, because you're still in 10th. But the reality is, you could be in 11th right now if you don't get a game or 2 on that trip. So, but the other thing is the Kuminga thing.
Man, I hope. Yeah, I got
They're
you.
3-0. Look, and say what you want. They're 3-0 without him.
Okay, but you're going to need him against Dallas.
You might.
Let them be missing.
You might. But the reality of the situation is this, and I don't really want to get into. I'm not going to get into it if people interpret it wrong. Because I'm not saying the Warriors are better without Kuminga.
Right. Because that's not true.
But the bottom line is, when Kuminga isn't in the lineup, then who do they have? They have Steph. They have Clay. They got Draymond. They got Wiggins. Looney plays. Like, they can just go back to the way they've always played with their 5 championship players. And even if those championship players aren't as good as they were 2 years ago, they've got a way to play where, even though he's not in the lineup, it doesn't really impact them because they've played 5 years with the same lineup they had when he doesn't play. And then you throw Chris Paul in there, and he knows what he's doing. So there are some things that happen when Kuminga is out of the lineup that aren't all detrimental.
Yeah. I would just say to that, Steiny, I think you're being unfair to Jonathan Kuminga and his impact, because you can do what they did and they got the dubs. That's the most important against dump truck teams.
That's right.
And Orlando is the worst offensive team in the league. Okay, so and that was the Draymond game. And I feel like the Draymond game, I feel like the rest of the gang, including Dre, Steiny, they're at attention. Like they're not going south. They got something to prove with or without Dre. So that's what got them through these 3 games. But to say, it's nothing to see here if they got to play Dallas or better Western Conference teams without Kuminga after what we've seen from them this season that's why I'm nervous. Okay. I guess, and maybe that's why I'm not sour at all.
Why would you be nervous if you're not the only way you can be nervous is if you don't have expectations for this team. Or if you do have expectations for this team.
And that's been all year. I've been consistent. They can make a run if they get in.
Right. And so they just won 4 in a row on the road, but that's not. It's
how many good teams? Oh,
no. Listen, listen. You can play that game if you want, and I get it. They beat 2 playoff teams from the Eastern Conference. They beat Miami and they beat Orlando. Then they went into Charlotte and they took care of business. Yeah. The -8, down 8 points at half, and then what happened? They came out and they scored 14 straight to start.
And then what happened at the end of the game? You had a 12-point lead. They held on.
Guru, to the Spurs,
almost.
They're 22-15 on the road.
What are you saying about the Warriors? You said they were dead. Now you come in and they beat 3 measly-ass teams, and you're tricking me into acting I'm supposed to throw
I'm not tricking you.
I don't care about the record. Nobody from Miami even showed up. Butler wasn't there. Duncan Robinson wasn't there. Hero wasn't there. So shame on you saying that's a quality win. So what you're telling me not to do, you're doing because of the Eastern Conference and the standings. Bottom line is, that was lightweight embarrassing yesterday to have to hold on to that game against San Antonio, and you got the benefit of a bad call on Wemby over the back. Yeah. That's what I'm focused on. And then you want to come in here and say nothing to see here when Kuminga's not playing. That's not fair, Steiny.
They just won 3
That's not fair to Jonathan, man.
Let me tell you what's not fair is it's not fair to the Warriors to be judging them like this when they were a 500 team 4 games ago. They won 4 games on the road. I'm just saying, if we can't, if we're not going to, you kind of prove, you're not proving my point, but
What would you like for me to say, I guess?
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Okay.
All right, what I'm saying is, clearly we've reached the point at the Warriors season where they've just ripped off 4 games on the road, and it doesn't really matter because of what? Is it because they've had fits and starts all season long? Is it because you're still not sold on them? Is it because they haven't moved up in the standings? I'm saying, my point's been proven. They've won 4 straight on the road. If this were another argument, you and other people would be saying, well, you can only play who's in front of you, Steiny, so let's not pick apart the opponents. Right. My point is they've just won 4 in a row on the road, and to me, it feels like there's no enthusiasm about this team. It feels like, even though when they beat the Bucks almost a month ago, they were only 5 games over 500. So now they're a season-high 6 games over 500. And what I'm realizing is, it's not going to matter. It doesn't matter until the postseason, I guess, or until the play-in game.
All right, let me run this.
This isn't nobody is, you're right. Nobody's really happy about this. And I'm just wondering why.